It's the first extra butter of the new year. Welcome to award season. Speaking of award season, don't know if it's going to get it, but it deserves it, especially the acting power of Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan. We're talking about Just Mercy. Also, we'll go behind the scenes to one of the most revolutionary, one of the most immersive and spectacular war movies ever. Am I overhyping it? Not at all. 1917, fresh off of its Golden Globe win, we'll take you behind the scenes. Also, probably not going to win awards, if for no other reason, because it's too soon, but we will go underwater with the cast and crew of Underwater. That more on this edition of Extra Butter. Hey, welcome to the first show of the new year. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the world-famous Kelly Savannah Deaton. It's the world-famous comedian Steph Sanders, and you. Thanks for joining us on the show where we talk about movies pretty much the way you talk about movies. Leading the charge in 2019 into the new year, it was Star Wars. Raise your hand if you loved it. Oh, where are you going, Kelly? Come back. All right, Steph, it's just going to be me and you. All right, whether you loved it or hated it, much to talk about with this movie. I sat down with the Wookiee, that would be Junus, and C-3PO, Anthony Daniels, to talk about it. Take a look. I had a chance to go on set at Pinewood, so I know this to be true, that they made remarkable advances in the suit. For your comfort, did you say, why did it take you so long?
For this film, finally, I had hands that articulate like my own fingers. I could pick things up.
Small things.
The small things, a very important thing too.
Right.
I'm not saying
I almost, did you see what I almost did?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we can't plot spoil, but what's the moment you don't want people to blink their eye for? Be sure and watch this for each of you individually.
All of it. And because it's quite a ride. It's a wild ride from the beginning. I couldn't believe, we're 20 minutes in and we have not taken a breath yet.
Wow, for a nerd like me, what a great interview. If you had to pick one, would you rather talk to the guy that is Chewbacca or would you rather talk to the guy that is C-3PO?
C-3PO.
Yeah, how about you?
Chewbacca.
Yeah, but this is the new Chewbacca, so he hasn't even earned his wings yet.
Still. He's channeling the old one, so it's all-encompassing.
All right, let's bring it back up to talk more about Star Wars and why it's crushing it, and debate, dig, slice it up. It's the world-famous Tara Hitchcock, ladies and gentlemen! What's up, Tara?
Yeah.
Hey guys!
Happy New Year to you, friend.
Happy New Year to you. Please tell me I'm in that little cool TV. Am I in the little tiny TV?
Yeah, exactly. We just got some new rabbit ears for you. You do signaling. It's great, Tara. I need to know, if you had to choose between the guy that plays C-3PO, Anthony Daniels, or Junus, the new Chewbacca, who would you want to talk to?
The C-3PO guy, Anthony Daniels for sure. You know what's ironic is the only interview I didn't get while I was doing the junket alongside you was Anthony Daniels. I didn't get to talk to him.
I don't know anything about junkets. I only get exclusive interviews. Let's move on to the movie, Tara. Let's talk about the movie. Why do you think it's crushing it, and why do you think some people don't love it?
Well, I was actually one of those who did not love it, and I love J.J. Abrams. If I could talk to anybody out of that entire group of people, it's actually J.J. I love him, and I was rooting for this film. It's crushing it because it's Star Wars. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but I didn't love it. I felt like there was so much packed in there. And here's the problem. I'm getting up there in age, Mark. I cry a lot. I don't know if it's menopause or what my deal is. I didn't shed one tear, and that's a bad sign. I didn't have time to feel. It was just too much crammed in with no real, allowance of time to grieve for anything.
Yeah, I did feel like in terms of the frenetic pace, didn't you feel like towards the end they're like, oh God, we got to show Ewoks. Give us 2 seconds of Ewoks. Oh wait, what about those little porg things? We need the porgs.
The porgs are the best.
Yeah,
You have to.
Ewoks.
That's the only thing I like about Star Wars are the porgs.
I love the Ewoks.
All right, Tara, if there were any spin-off, is there? Where would you like to see Star Wars go? Clearly, Star Wars is not going away.
In the vault.
What spin-off? Right. Kelly Savannah, not a big fan either. Where would you like to see Star Wars go?
Well, here's the problem. I'm a huge Adam Driver fan, and lately I've been dreaming a little bit about the guy. He's just dreamy on many levels to me.
Wow.
So give me a Kylo Ren spin-off all day long. I want an 8-parter on just Kylo Ren and Adam Driver.
Tara Hitchcock, where can we find you when we search you and stalk you?
Wow, that's such a good question as I sit in front of my strategically placed Emmys. Tara on TV on Instagram, also Facebook, and again, for some odd reason, Twitter. I went with Tara TV1.
Well, there you go, and we'll be seeing all your posts, and we'll see you this weekend at the Critics' Choice Awards.
Thank you, Tara.
Tara Hitchcock.
Thank you.
Love you, buddy. All right. Now shifting gears a little bit, a movie that I think it didn't have enough steam going into the end of 2019 to be considered for Oscars, but it should be. Go see Just Mercy on the big screen. It's going to make you sad, it's going to make you angry, but it's going to make you informed and probably want to try to make the world a better place and not make mistakes that people have made in the past.
Well said.
What do you think of when I say Michael B. Jordan?
Shut the hell up. That's what I think about. I think it's shut the hell up.
Then let me explain why. The very first time I met Kelly, it was at the Facebook campus. I was hired to do a Q&A with the cast of, what was the movie?
That Awkward Moment.
That Awkward Moment. And
With
speaking of awkward moments,
Zac Efron,
Right.
Michael B. Jordan, Miles Teller.
you said, could I get a picture with them? And I
Yeah.
said, no, lay low.
Mark said no. Lay low. No one's getting a photo. I'm not even going to take a photo.
Well, fast forward about 2 minutes after saying that, I was in a position to take a selfie with the three of them. And look at the background of the shot. And who do you see? Stink Eye from this one.
I literally look like Bigfoot. It just happened to be behind you.
All right.
That's hilarious.
All right, but now look, we became friends, and you've been on
I
this
know.
show for how many years now?
One.
Right?
New
It's all
beginnings,
cool.
great
It's all
beginnings,
cool.
great beginnings.
And look,
It was. It's a good story. and
Everybody
that-
gotta have a story.
That photo will live in infamy forever.
That's
so-
right.
And I've seen your stink eye.
All right.
Never
so,
aimed at you. It's okay.
so now, segueing into the meat of the matter, this movie, it tackles some really serious social issues, and it's based on a true story. Essentially, a guy was wrongfully accused of murder.
Yeah.
That
Right.
guy is played by Jamie Foxx. How great does he look in this movie?
Man, great, outstanding. He plays Walter McMillan better than Walter McMillan.
Yeah, right? He
He
does.
does a fantastic job, but Jamie always does character work so
I've
great.
been waiting for them to work together. Michael B. Jordan and
Yes.
Jamie Foxx kind of
Dream-
remind me of
dream
each
tandem.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that Michael B. Jordan called Jamie Foxx and said, "Will you be in this?" and he jumped for it,
Yeah.
and seeing them together on screen, you're like, why was this not done
And you're
sooner?
like, he's the only one that could have done that at all.
Only,
That's
yeah,
the
only one.
Yeah, the dynamic between the two of them and Michael B. Jordan, the arc, because his character goes through a bit of an arc. Like he grows up
Yes.
in front of us in this movie,
amazing.
and changes demeanor and gets deeper into it. You see the kid become a serious,
Yep.
hardcore attorney before your very eyes.
Yeah,
Yep.
and a modern day superhero. Brian Stevenson is known, especially in the African American community, as a
Sure.
superhero.
We went behind the scenes on the set and talked to Michael B. Jordan. You could tell how immersed he was at that time. Take a look.
Just Mercy is a look at, is a mirror being held to our country, to shine a light on some of the flaws that we may have. And hopefully through that, self-diagnosis, we can find some solutions and some remedies, to be a better country, to be better as a nation. Legacy, that's a word that's been following me around a lot the last few years. Legacy means everything to me. It's all you really got at the end of the day when you're on this earth for a short amount of time. But how do you leave an impact while you're here that when you're gone, inevitably, that can continue to be alive. That can continue to make an impact and affect people's lives in a positive way.
Go see this movie. He deserves the Academy Award for that. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know
I
if
hope
you're going to
it
see the nods,
does.
but maybe by us shining some light on it right now, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, coming up in a moment, shifting gears to a movie that probably is not going to be nominated for any Academy Awards, but anytime you have horror and water,
Yes.
I'm in. We will go underwater with the cast and crew next. And welcome back to Extra Butter. Thanks for joining us on the show where we talk about movies like you talk about movies. Hey, meet my friends that stop by once a week to dish the dirt on movies and celebrities.
Let's do it.
The world famous comedian Steph Sanders. Where do we find you?
I am Steph Sanders everywhere. I did something different with my hair for 2020. Tell me if you
Love
like it.
There you
Like-
go.
I love it.
Yeah.
It looks nice and sharp.
It does. And the world famous, also looking nice and sharp, Kelly Savannah.
Thank you.
Always.
Kelly Savannah Deaton. Same old, same old.
All right, question, comments, concerns, always at TV Marcus Allen. All right, let's jump in with 2 feet, no pun intended, underwater. Thoughts when you saw the trailer?
Yikes.
Game of Thrones.
Yikes. I love Kristen Stewart, but I was scared. I'm scared of water. I'm scared
Come
of
on.
yeah.
I asked them before the break, what's scarier to you, being in space
Yeah.
or being underwater?
Water.
You guys said water, right?
I've never been to space, so I don't know about
Oh,
that, but
there
I've
you
been
go.
scared underwater.
Water.
Camera guy Mark said that when his daughter saw the trailer and she said, "You're going to go in a submarine for 3 months," what did your daughter say? I'm out. I'm out.
That would be the general, I think,
I
reaction
think so.
to that.
Yeah.
There's no way. but Kristen Stewart, this is interesting to see her play this role,
It is.
right? We haven't really seen her like be in a horror movie,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
full-fledged horror. She's
Right.
been in psychological thrillers, but
Yeah.
not this. So I'm interested to see what people's reactions are when they see her. In
I
this.
talked to her about the leap of faith, jumping into this. Take a look.
People are going to ask you after this, what was the hardest part? Because it looks relentless, and clearly most of it's not green screen. You're doing this practically. You're in that suit.
Yeah. Yeah, really common question, like in interviews about movies is always like, yeah, what was the hardest part of making this movie? This is, or like, what was the most sort of, you know, difficult aspect of your job, whatever. That's people are really interested.
Yeah.
And you always kind of like downplay the minor sort of discomforts of like making a movie because it sounds silly. You're like, yeah, we got to have this amazing experience. We were all together, like telling this story. Like the fact that it was cold kind of doesn't really matter. This was absolutely horrible, like the worst experience I've ever had on a movie ever in my entire life.
Finally, the truth comes
Yeah,
out.
and we're like allowed to say it. Like
Right.
usually, like it was great. We loved each other. We liked each other fine. This was awful, physically harrowing, really scary, claustrophobic, like genuine experience.
Because anybody that's
Yeah.
done diving knows that you get somewhat claustrophobic, but you're in the
Yeah.
suit for what, like 12-hour days?
Yeah, never underwater for 12 hours, but our suits weighed as much as we did. So like ratio-wise, pounds, like suit to body weight, I had like, you know, I had like my twin on my back every day just
Yeah.
trying to like take me down.
Kristen Stewart's awesome. I think she's getting more comfortable in her own skin. Like back in the day, I like take a look at some of my earlier interviews with her. You see, she looks a little uncomfortable, just her body
That
language.
was you, Mark, not her.
Maybe it was just me. Maybe she's
It's
getting
weird
used to
how
me.
You always say that. You're like, look at this actor back in
Right.
the day. No, it's just you.
I trained myself to walk out of these celebrity interviews going, it's not me, it's them. But you're saying, no, it is?
Yeah, a little bit, a little
Thank-
bit.
thanks
New
a lot.
therapist.
We
You need a
love
new
you.
therapist.
We love you, though.
You're
It's
not a
okay.
good therapist.
I sat down with her co-stars, and they were pleasant. More pleasant than the two of you.
How claustrophobic were you?
Well, Kristen actually had the worst claustrophobia. I wasn't struggling with the claustrophobia.
Just a pensioner.
Yeah. No, so I weigh like 125 and the suit was 85.
Was
and
it?
so the pain of carrying that, and mine was rigged wrong, and so it was all on one shoulder, and I actually lost feeling in my right shoulder because it trapped my nerves, and I had to sleep in a neck brace for filming.
Goodness gracious. How about you? Do you have any level of commitment to compare to that?
No, it was fine.
What-
I was just like moderately uncomfortable and a little wet.
I'm so proud of you.
What'd I
You
do?
went through that entire interview without mentioning Star Wars once. You've never done that.
Why would I mention Star Wars?
Jessica is in The Force Awakens.
No,
an
she's
X-Wing
not.
pilot.
No.
Are you
Yes,
serious?
She
She is not in Star
Leading,
Wars.
leading
No.
the rebellion
No.
against the Empire?
Yeah, how did you guys not
Get
know
outta
that?
Oh,
here.
man. X-Wing pilot. I'd like to be just one random X-Wing pilot, like the guy that goes, stay on target, stay on target. Red 5, going in, stay on
Wouldn't that
target.
be
And then you
fun?
get hit.
Oh, man.
Just say you're
I
a
would do
hater.
that. I'm not a hater.
a hater,
I'm the one that
just-
knew that fact, and you guys didn't.
I
I don't
need
even
to-
like it.
I'm going to start researching more. All right, coming up in a moment, was Tiffany Haddish in Star Wars?
She was not.
All
And
right.
everything else.
All right.
Yeah, she's in everything else.
Like a boss. Speaking of which, we'll speak to Tiffany Haddish and Rose Byrne about that next. Hey, welcome back to Extra Butter. Very excited about our next movie because one, I love me a good comedy, and I
Same.
love me a good buddy picture
Yes.
comedy. All right, name your favorite buddy pictures.
Rush Hour.
Rush
Thelma
Hour.
and Louise.
Thelma and Louise.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Although Thelma and Louise wasn't technically a buddy
Sure
picture
it is.
comedy.
Sure it is.
It's not a comedy. You know, I laughed hysterically when they committed suicide in the end. All right, Stuber.
Brad Pitt was in it.
Stuber. All right.
Bad Boys.
Yeah, Bad Boys.
yeah.
and-
Titanic.
all right, Bad Boys 3 on the way. But right now,
Titanic.
let's simmer down now and talk about Like a Boss.
Oh.
Tiffany Haddish and Rose Byrne. How great is their chemistry?
You wouldn't automatically pair them
You
together,
wouldn't.
but now I just want to see a sequel right away.
Exactly.
I love them together. Rose Byrne is so funny, and Tiffany Haddish kind of lets her shine a little bit
Yeah.
and then takes that reign right back.
Yeah.
It's cool how they bounce
Yeah.
off each other so perfectly.
I gotta say, I love Tiffany's progression. Like you said,
Yeah.
she lets people shine now, knows how to bounce off rather than
Yeah.
taking over a scene.
Right.
I love
Because
it.
she could.
Yeah,
could
she
take
could.
over anything
Easily.
she wants.
Easily.
Early in Tiffany Haddish's career, she hit the same note the entire time. I love now how she holds back the
Yeah.
crazy and doesn't go to crazy town like into the third act.
Yeah.
In this movie, they become very, I don't want to plot spoil, but I do want to say they become very tight. Ride or die friends. What does a ride or die friend mean to you?
Loyalty knows where the bodies are hidden and keeps them there.
Yep.
Yep, same.
Same?
Well said.
Here's what it means to them.
A ride or die friend is someone who is gonna stick by your side no matter what. Y'all might go to jail together. You feel me? Y'all might have to commit some crimes together. Or you might need somebody to help you clean your house. They will help. They'll be there for you no matter what. Pick you up from the airport, help you move, help you fight somebody. Whatever you need, they got you. They ride or die. We in this Thelma and Louise style. Let's go.
Yeah, Thelma and Louise. That's a good template.
Good job, Mark.
Now, thank you. I highly recommend this movie. Now, typically they dump movies, comedy, horror, or otherwise, around this time if they have problems. This movie doesn't. It's good.
It is so good, and I hope you guys get me a cake when I have my first child. You'll see what I mean.
Should we start baking anytime
I'll do
soon?
that.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Easy bake oven for you.
So go see this movie. All right. Since you called Thelma and Louise a buddy picture, coming up next, another great buddy picture, 1917.
It is.
Not really, but it is two guys. The plot is this. Get from point A to point B and don't die. In the midst, you get one of the most amazing war movies ever made. We'll go behind the scenes with the cast and crew next. Hey, welcome back. It is Extra Butter. Now, you guys, I have occasionally been wont to overhype movies, right?
Yeah.
I'm not overhyping when I tell you, and I think you'll have my back because you're one of the first people to see it. 1917 is one of the most immersive, one of the best war movies ever. And you're going, I don't like war movies. They're too hard for me to watch with people like being turned into hamburger. While that is part of the brutality of war, this movie will make you feel like you're in the war, yet you don't see a lot of that. It's not the bloodiest war movie.
No, it's not gore. It's pretty crazy, too, because it feels like a video game.
Yes.
You have so much stress, and your anxiety is so through the roof.
It's true.
The entire movie, you are in the trenches with these two guys. It's insane. It's like the most visceral, gut-wrenching movie. You're literally the whole time.
I don't want to give away anything, but I will say you are satisfied in the end. You don't say, why did I just devote 2 hours of my life to be more depressed and less informed?
I agree.
Right, it's not to be like that. I went to a really special screening, you guys.
Wasn't Steven Spielberg there at the screening you were at?
Yeah, so I got invited to this Producers Guild screening.
Yeah,
and I took my movie producing partner who loves Steven Spielberg because it was his birthday, right? You were invited, it was his birthday.
With a buddy film.
Look at this collection of pictures. You can see us kind of getting closer. That's Howard, and then there's Spielberg in the background.
Mark's commentary. Let's get closer. Let's stalk him. There's
now we're a little bit closer. Now I'm helping out my friend Nikki from Fandango who wanted to meet him. Now she's talking to him. Howard's patiently waiting, and then boom, Howard goes in, gets to talk to him like Gary Marshall. Then we hung out. Now you went behind the scenes even before that and saw it with the cast and crew.
I did, and I'm telling you, you guys, these two guys, Dean Charles Chapman and George McKay, they're not super well-known actors, but they slay in this movie. It's so crazy. Sam Mendes did such a good job casting kind of unknowns for the lead and then putting these big actors in the background with these really pivotal small scenes like Colin Firth, Benedict Cumberbatch. But
I'd love to chat with the cast and crew. Take a look.
now, when did you decide to film this movie in this way with the seemingly one continuous shot?
It was right from the beginning, really. Once I decided it was 2 hours of real time, I thought it was the best way to tell the story, to lock the audience together with the characters so they experience time exactly as the characters do. They experience the physical difficulty of the journey. And you kind of forget, hopefully, at a certain point about any one shot, and you just lose yourself in the story.
What did you guys find most enjoyable about filming this movie and most challenging?
Do you know what? The most enjoyable bit was when we finally got the take correct. Because, you know, we'd rehearsed it for 6 months over and over again. And then on a filming day, we'd probably rehearse it about 20 times before we even started, putting it on camera. And then we'd do like 20, 30, 40 takes. But when you knew that, we got that take, it was a mutual, yes, thank God, celebration, high fives, and that was the most enjoyable bit of it.
I bet. I could only imagine. What about for you?
I think the same. It was all, as much as it was, it was hard, we genuinely had a great time. And that's, I think, as Dean said, when you get 6 minutes, you've got 6 minutes of the final film, and it's such a massive set piece, and it involved so many people that, it was like someone had scored a penalty or something,
And when you're filming a movie like this, and you're approaching it and you're there, what's going through your head when you're down, when you have the cameraman in the trenches? Can you go over one of the most difficult scenes to film?
Well, it was hard, a lot of it. I'm working a long way away on a remote head. So I'm controlling the head where somebody else is carrying it, the camera and the head, and they're putting it on a crane or taking it off and running with it or whatever. And the most difficult thing of all of it was you'd go into like 4 minutes or 5 minutes and the tension would mount because you've got to get it right all the way up to the end of the cut, 8 minutes or whatever. And then the end's got to be right because that's got to fit with the next coming take. So the pressure mounted up the longer the shot went on. That was really interesting. And when we got a good take, it was funny because everybody would look at each other and sort of go, wow. It was really quite a high,
Don't you think he made a good choice by putting two unknowns as the leads?
That's what I was
Because
going to say.
you're
That's
not
inspiring.
distracted by
Yeah,
it.
right, exactly. And it's inspiring to see
And then
two just around, like you said, surrounded by heavyweights, but they do a fantastic job.
And then you see, it's like, it almost reminds me of a video game. Each point they hit, there's a bigger actor like Colin Firth and Benedict Cumberbatch and Mark Strong. Like each little, you're like, oh, okay, they're still alive. Okay, they're still alive. They're still alive.
One thing that I think we're mentioning is like it is one continuous shot. Now there's some points where they do a Texas fakie, like he goes into a completely dark room. So they're swapping out the cameras there, it gets lost in water and they swap out cameras there. But for the most part, you're watching 20 minutes and not a single room. I mean, it's 20 minutes crossing battlefields.
It's insane. The distance traveled with the one continuous shot is
It's really
crazy.
remarkable. It's
Hazard
like
pay.
the opening scene, if you are a cinemaphile and you remember the opening segment of La La Land, it's like that on steroids.
It is. It is.
All right, so go see
With less
1917. Yeah, exactly. And congratulations on its Golden Globe win for Best Dramatic Picture and Best Director. I don't know you're going to see that go on to the Academy Awards, but we all agree.
You don't think so?
I think so.
I don't know if it's going to get the win. I still think it's going to be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
You think?
Yeah, but I digress. We have plenty of time to talk about the Academy Awards, but all agree that Roger Deakins, the cinematographer DP, is going to be going on to win everything.
Yeah.
All right, so have yourself a great weekend, and love you guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We'll be back next week.